Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Intel's Kitchen. In the last episode, we learned how to build an extreme gaming PC, but today we're going to talk about the latest generation of desktop processors from Intel, called the 9th Gen or Coffee Lake Refresh. So let's kick it off. There's mainly two new big things I want to talk about here. The first thing is called STIM, and the second thing is that we've added two more cores in the i7 and the i9. But let me start by talking about STIM. STIM stands for Solder Thermal Interface Material. And previously in our processors, we've had cooling paste between the actual processor and the IHS. So to demonstrate this for you guys, I've actually prepared a Pentium here that I took off this cooling metal here called the IHS or internal heat spreader for you to see how it looks inside. So this is the actual processor and this is the internal heat spreader or IHS. You can see that there's some cooling paste here. So the news with the 9th Gen is that we solder this heat spreader directly to the processor die, and that greatly effectivizes the heat transfer from the processor to the cooling device. And then when you put a cooler up on it, more heat is transferred for the cooler and you can get a cooler processor. And that makes it so you can have higher clock speed from our factories, but also greatly increase the overclocking potential of these processors. So now that you know what STIM is and what it's good for, it's time to talk about the three new products that we have in the 9th Gen Core desktop family. So let me start by talking about the i5-9600K. It's a 6-core, non-hyper-threading processor with clock speeds of up to 4.6 GHz. This is a great processor if you're focusing on gaming and some light media editing. The i7-9700K steps it up a notch. It adds 2 extra cores, so we go from 6 to 8 cores, and the clock speeds goes up to 4.9 GHz of maximum speed. This one is even better in gaming and also adds that extra 2 cores for some heavier content creation. And last but absolutely not least, it's time for the i9-9900K. This is an 8-core processor with hyperthreading, so 16 threads in total, and with clock speeds of up to 5 GHz. So if you want to do the most extreme gaming, content creation, whatever you can imagine, and throw at this processor, it would be amazingly fast. And that wraps it up for this episode of Intel's Kitchen. In the next one, we're going to talk about Intel's new Z390 chipsets that you should pair up with one of these processors. Until next time, take care.